Hello again, football fans. Welcome to week 5 of the high school football season. We're not quite into conference play for most of the conferences yet, but we're getting there. We're getting closer. We got a lot of good games on schedule this week. We'll get to all the schedule. We'll get to your favorite part of the show, the prop box, in just 1 minute. But first, let's take a look at the Tri-County. Pender and Wallace Rose Hill are 2 of 3 teams in the Tri-County Conference that are unbeaten through the first 4 weeks of the high school football season. And while 3 perfect teams is a feat for any conference 4 weeks in, consider that all 8 teams in the conference have winning records, making them the only conference in the state at any level to be able to make that claim. The combined record of the 8 teams is a cool 22-5, and the conference has outscored their opponents better than 2-1 at 758 to 346. What's equally as impressive is that they are doing it against everybody. The conference is 13-0 against 1A opponents, 7-3 against 2As, and a respectable 2-2 against the bigger 3A schools. They're winning the ones they're supposed to by posting a 20-2 record against sub-500 teams. And they're winning everywhere with an 11-3 combined road record to go along with 11-2 at home. You'd expect top-end talent with the likes of Wallace Rose Hill, the defending state champions in 1A last season, but Hobden is tops in the point margin, outscoring their opponents 143-19 through 4 games. Union is second with a 116-13 spread in 3 games. With the conference schedule getting underway September 24th, it's safe to say that for the rest of the regular season, the only teams that are going to be taking out the Tri-County is the Tri-County. Look for key matchups every week, starting with unbeaten's Hobden and Pender getting things started on the 24th. Wallace Rose Hill and Pender will do battle on October 15th, and of course you can never sleep on James Keenan or Daquan Hansley and Trask. As for this week, 4 of the 8 teams are off while 4 are in action. A couple of games to check out are East Duplin at James Keenan, and a rematch of an excellent game a season ago as Wallace Rose Hill goes to Southwest Onslow.
Like Aaron's saying, folks, Tri-County is going to be a whole lot better this year. 7 weeks to end the season, starting next week to decide a champion. But now we're on to your favorite part of the show, and Aaron's too, not mine so much because I'm last in the picks, and that's the prop box. So 5 games out of the 8 that we'll be picking this week. We'll start it off here in town, West Brunswick at Ashley.
I like what both teams are doing. I really like West Brunswick, but I'm not going to pick them this week. I'm going to go with Ashley. This is a much improved defense. Through 4 weeks in the season, they've got 12 sacks, they've got 11 takeaways. They're playing well. They're going to keep rolling here.
That will be a good one. Interesting to see whether the defense or the offense stands in that one. Game 2, also here in town. This was a great game last year down in Tabor City. This year it's here in town. That's South Columbus at Hoggard.
And it may not be the game of the week, but it's going to be a darn good one. So if you're around, don't miss it. I like Hoggard. They got off the schneid last week. They got their first W, much needed. But I like South Columbus. I like the ground game. I think they're going to control the ground, control the clock, control the scoreboard, and win this one.
I agree with you on that one. But again, very tight game. Expect it that way. Another good game that was played on the road last year, but this year here it's in town. Now it's Jacksonville Northside at New Hanover.
Northside, pretty good team. They've got some wins, but Hanover's coming off a big road win, and I think they're going to keep clicking, keep rolling here. They're just too much this week.
I'll be interested to see the score of this. New Bern, another Mideastern team, took care of Northside last week. If New Hanover can have a comparable score, I think that it'll show where they stand as far as the conference race goes.
I agree.
This is a Columbus County game, round 4 here, but not a conference game. Whiteville at East Columbus.
You know, East Columbus, I've been to 2 of their games this year, and their offense is much improved. They really like to get the sidelines, but it's not much of an offense. It's different. So we've seen it before. Whiteville's seen it before. Plus, I like using the maracas. So we're going to go Whiteville with the maracas in the win.
If the Wolfpack can bounce back after getting humbled last week against Lumberton, I think they'll be comfortable. Last game we're going to do here on the show. Remember, the last 3 games you can find Friday morning at StarNewsVarsity.com, and that will include the Wallace Rose Hill Southwest Onslow thriller game over in Onslow County. But the last game we're going to show you today, East Duplin at James Keenan.
Whew, tough game.
Yes.
But that's why we put it on the show. It's why it's one of the picks. And Keenan, you never know. That whole conference, like we said earlier in the show, has winning records. They're all putting up points. They're all taking care of business. Got to go with East Duplin on this one. I think they're going to be too strong here, just like I said last week. They got too much defense on that team. They really control. They lost last week. They really need that rebound game. They're going to get it.
I think you're going to be right, but I think James Keenan, again, is going to hang in there like they did against East Blade, and this is not going to be a pushover game at all for the Panthers.
Right. Well, let's get now into all the games this week. I'll run down the schedule just real quickly for you. West Brunswick at Ashley, South Columbus at Hoggard. That'll be one of the games that we'll feature on the website for the picks this week, as well as Laney versus 71st. We already mentioned Northside at New Hanover. Wallace, Rose Hill, and Southwest Onslow. That'll also be a game that we'll put on the website for you. Trask and Fairmont. East Duplin will go to James Keenan. We just talked about that one. South Robb will be at East Bladen. Lejeune will be at North Brunswick. Red Springs will be at South Brunswick, an undefeated South Brunswick team that's playing really well, Dan.
Yeah, they are. That should be another win for the Cougars. I don't see how they lose to Red Springs. That'll put them into the Waccamaw undefeated, which is a big surprise to everybody. I think even a little bit to South Brunswick. I don't know if they expected to be that good this early.
Whiteville and East Columbus, like we talked about, and rounding it out, West Columbus at West Bladen.
Like we said, folks, a lot of good games this week. We'll have live coverage from 4 games again this week, including all 3 in New Hanover County. That's West Brunswick at Ashley, South Columbus at Hoggard, Jacksonville Northside at New Hanover, as well as the latest installment of the Duplin County rivalries this week. It's East Duplin at James Keenan.
Yeah, so we'll have a lot of highlights for you then on Friday. Sounds like we're touching it all. In the meantime, be sure to check out starnewsvarsity.com for all your prep needs. You got a lot of good high school football stuff up there already. Keep up to date on your standings. And be sure to come back Friday. Check it out, guys.